All right, guys, today we are diving into a topic that most men in their 40s, 50s, 60s don't really want to talk about, but it impacts everything that we do, and that's our relationships. Because here's the truth. A lot of men spend years optimizing their bodies, they optimize their business, their money, but they completely neglect their love life. Or worse, they hide behind that self development as an excuse, and the cycle goes on for years. So today we're
Mhm.
going to challenge that. I'm joined by Kavita Ajwani, founder of Dashing Date and the creator of the Kind King Method, which is a powerful coaching framework that helps men stop sabotaging with women that they actually want and build real committed relationships. Kavita works with men to help them understand women, step into what she calls mountain energy, and become the man who doesn't just attract the right woman, but actually keeps her. So today we're going to dive into everything in this conversation, what you're getting wrong, how to build the right relationships that can actually elevate the second half part of your life with the right woman. Kavita, thank you so much for being here. And it's great to see you again. How are you?
It is so good to see you, Funk. I am doing great. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm awesome again. But one of the things that I want to start with is why do so many men have everything figured out? Specifically, those successful men have everything figured out except the love life or the love portion of their life.
I'm gonna start by saying that it really is a story, first and foremost, that you have adopted over time. So if you are someone right now who is caught in that cycle of, things are going so well, I've got my fitness in check, my career is working, I got friends, families, hobbies, like everything is going well, but I can't figure this out. The real first step is like releasing that story and realizing like yes, it really is a story, and it's something that is being perpetuated by society. Like we are being pushed, it's being pushed on us that there are these different areas of life and that we're supposed to master them in some sort of sequence. It's because of that that it can feel like you don't have your love life figured out, is because we have separated these areas of our life. Fitness lives over here, career and money lives over here, and then love lives all the way over here. And that's what happens is over the years, a lot of the clients I work with, by the time they come to me, they're saying like, I was focused on my self-development. I was focused on making money. I wanted to buy the house. I wanted all these things, and dating went on a back burner.
Mm.
That's the problem. So
And
that's why a
so
lot of
with
people are feeling this way.
Yeah. So with that problem, what's the real cost? Because you said that these guys come to you now and they think they have everything, on point, but then they've been leaving their dating on the back burner. What is the real cost that happens to these guys as they get older?
These other areas of our lives, they are completely in our control. And when you're, as a man, being in your masculine energy really means constantly taking action, pushing forward. What can I do? What's available to me? Like, what is in my control? You want to control it. So it can be really easy to focus entirely on the areas of life that feel like you can conquer alone.
Mm.
And when it comes to love and relationships requires, right, another person. It's this beautiful area of life where we have to approach it in a very different way. Now there's another person involved, there's other people involved. And what ends up happening is you stay so focused on these areas that you can control, and you start to get caught up in this story. Again, coming back to the story, that once I get the six pack abs, once my bank account is full, once I have the perfect house, as soon as then the woman is just going to somehow show up. It's just going to happen for me. And you also start to cling to this idea that I have to have all these things in order to attract a woman. Right? We get caught up in this like not enoughness, right?
Mm.
And caught up in the highlight reels of everybody else's story of like, oh, well, you have to have this much money, you have to look a certain way, you have to be a certain height, and we're not growing any taller after a certain point, right? So, like the men in your demographic, we've reached the points that we've reached, and getting caught up in like this, I'm not enough until I hit all of these goals. It delays the one thing that is actually the catalyst for hitting all those goals. So the cost is actually slower success. It's being alone. It's not having your provider instincts kick in. It's the carrying the weight of it all rather than actually being in partnership and sharing the difficulties of life, the burdens of life, the challenging periods of our growth journey with actually somebody by our side.
Mhm.
So it's having an amazing partner and an amazing woman and or wife or girlfriend in your life that is actually the catalyst for success in all other areas. You will get there so much faster and life will be so much more enjoyable when you have someone that you're doing life with.
Yeah, I think I gotta agree with you. I mean, when we're in our mostly in our 50s and 60s, and even into our 70s, even if we've been successful or what have you, really creeps in, right? Because a lot of times you're focusing on your business, you're focusing on everything that you think you need, and then all of a sudden you're by yourself, right? As an entrepreneur, as someone who runs a business, sometimes you're isolated, right? And you kind of have to go out to find people. But that
Yeah.
isolation creeps up on you, specifically the older you get. Maybe you had kids and the kids leave, or maybe, whatever it is, and now you're by yourself. How does having the right woman in your life change your performance, or just change your life in general?
I'll speak from personal experience and my success in life, my joy in life, my happiness in life has been from like having a partner who is so unwavering in his belief in me. In fact, I would go so far as to say it's like seeing myself through his eyes, seeing the unconditional love, seeing the person that he sees is someone that I didn't fully see yet. And it was through that lens of love that I've risen and and believe so deeply in myself. Like what a beautiful thing in life to experience. Like now can we do this for ourselves? Yes, yes, we can, but it's just like you said, what's it all for? At the end. What is it all for? And I'm just going to say the thing that needs to be said, which is like we really have this one life to live. And at its core, this life is about love. Like at its core, it's about love. Whether it's whether it's like whether loving your work, loving your kids, loving your family. Like it's what I teach is like, is there abundance here? Like, what if we looked at this challenge, at this problem through the lens of love? Like that's what we're here for. And it's too
Yeah.
short not to miss. Like, it's too short, and we need to start to see that love and dating and women in your life, it's not as separate as you're making it. It should actually all be intertwined. I'm not saying prioritize love only as only like that is gonna be the catalyst, and it is in a big way, but
Mhm.
it's don't turn off dating. Don't turn off love in pursuit of these other goals. Keep these different areas moving at the same time. Like we all know the guy who sacrificed his health for his career. Like, and
Right.
then what's the point of having millions in the bank, but you can't enjoy it because you're not well or your knees are messed up or whatever the case. Like now you can't even travel, right? Like, and now you have to like spend all this time, you got the money in the bank, but now you have to spend all this time like working on your health and losing 50 pounds and getting back into the gym and walking again. Like, no, we know that health is a catalyst to your financial success.
Mhm.
Like these areas, they all feed into each other. So putting any one of them on a back burner for years at a time, it's just not the right move. You're missing out on so much life has to offer you by staying stuck in this narrative.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I got married in my 40s, so I was one of the guys who got married in their 40s. I wasn't gonna ever get married. I was gonna be George Clooney at that time, and that was it. And I got married. I found Angela and got married, and she has a separate career, and I was getting into entrepreneurship. And I know that, throughout the years, her involvement in my business, however it was, there's little, sometimes she was involved a lot, sometimes very little, but her involvement in my success as an entrepreneur and building what I built, it was she was key, right? There was certain, like, she's a key portion of, like, oh, Angela, Coach Angela, even though she has a completely her entire own career.
Yeah.
But I think for me, the reason why that worked really well is that still works well even to this day. We both work with the UFC together. We do a lot of things together, um, because I don't put my identity into my business. I don't put my identity into that. My identity is with my wife, right? So again, even if you're listening to this and you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever, just because you're high performing and you're successful, that's not your identity. Your identity is here. So for me anyway, I found that the connection that Angela and I have, that's the identity that we have as husband and wife. And together we do whatever, whether it's together or whether it's alone or what have you, we support each other. And I think that that boosts both of us up. I think that that helps both of us. So, yeah, so I totally get it that the very important, 100% that love is important. But where does a man find that? Specifically in the second half part. So, we have guys listening who may be divorced or who may have never been married before or who may be widows. Where do they find the second half part of life? Because yeah, we'll start there.
Yeah. So let me just tell you, and just in case you've convinced yourself that this is going to be really hard. This is going to be that there's no women out there like that. This, like, how do I even begin again? Like, I just really want to drive this point home that, first of all, what you believe is going to be what you experience.
Mm.
So, right, think about going to the gym. If you're like, oh my God, losing weight is going to be brutal and I can't do this and I can't eat and I can't go to the gym. It's like, no, like, sure, but then that is going to be an uphill your whole weight loss journey is gonna be an uphill battle,
Mm.
right? Where your weight loss journey can be exciting and you're changing your lifestyle and you wanna feel good about yourself, and love and dating is the same. So if you really treat it as this thing that's gonna be a chore at the end of the day, right? You are making this a lot harder than it seems, and of course you're not gonna show up for it. The most important thing that you can do when you're gonna start dating now in this, like, second half of your life is bringing the right energy. Because I can hand you
Mm.
all the strategies, and we can talk dating apps, and yes, we can talk approaching women again, and we will, but if you're not coming in with, like, a, "Okay, this is I deserve this, and this is gonna be fun, and I'm gonna make this fun, and I wanna look forward to it," that is really the first step, and it's gonna be the most important thing that you can do when you make
Mm.
this decision, like, "Yes, this is happening for me, I'm doing it." Then we get into strategy. So I wanna tell the men listening here, like, "Oh my gosh, okay, oh my gosh, you are in for such a treat in terms of having so many women that are
Mhm.
so dying to meet a wonderful man at this stage of their life." It is so much let me tell you, it is so much easier for men than
Mm.
it is for women in their like, over 50 especially.
Yeah.
It is a lot easier for men because you have so many more options. So if you are a man who has his life together and you're growth minded and you have these other pieces of your life in place and you're like, "Okay, like, this is something I really wanna do now," you are, in demand. Let me tell you,
100%.
you are in demand. So if that helps you lead with the right energy, then I've done my job.
I just want to just
Yeah.
touch on that because my sister-in-law was looking for dates, right? Like she was dating on the dating apps. It got to a point, she's like, man, like the guys on the apps are just, like you said, they don't show up. Right? They just kind of put it out there, whatever. We'll see. They don't show up. If you just put a little bit of effort, man, a little bit of effort in your dress and how you show up, like you said, it is
Mhm.
easy. It is absolutely easy. There's so many women out there in the 40s, 50s, 60s that are dying for a new opportunity with a guy. So yeah, sorry, I just wanted to touch on that because I remember Shauna would show me all of this stuff, and I'd be
Yeah,
like, come on, they're
yeah.
brutal. Like, they don't even take a little. Anyways, all right, let's
And
let's keep going.
understand, like, so because it can be really easy from the outside to be like, look, just put a little effort in, just dress a little bit better. And the problem is, if you have not dated in years, that one line of like, put a little effort in, the reality is you actually don't know what that looks like. It's not that you don't necessarily want to, it's not that you don't have the right intentions, but you genuinely don't know what that looks like. Right? Picture a person who's just starting a business and they're writing their first marketing email. And I could be like, well, just put a little bit of effort into it.
So,
And then you read it, and as a seasoned entrepreneur, you might be like, "Oh god, no one, first of all, is even gonna open this email, read the email, or attend the thing." Like, right?
right.
So, there is a skill. There is, a way for things to be done. And this is not like, do it, don't do it, pick whomever you want to, but, like, I am such a believer, and, you and I align on this, is like, we don't have to figure it out alone. Work with
No.
somebody, get someone in your corner so that you are actually not so first of all, yes, so that you're having fun with it, so you know what you're
Yeah.
doing, so you're not making mistakes, and then so you're actually, like, getting to your goals way faster.
Yeah.
It feels so good to actually know what you're doing, like, that's when you can bring confidence. So when I
Mm.
tell somebody who's 52 years old, who's getting back on the apps, like, that can feel like a very not even back on the apps, they're getting on the apps for the first time, like, that can feel very daunting. And bringing that analogy back is like, starting to create content for the first time as an entrepreneur. You're like, "Oh god, like I'm starting a business, I'm doing the thing, but really now I have to like put my face out and make videos and what is this whole social media thing?" Like, yeah. So it can feel scary. So get the help,
Yeah.
right? And growth minded men that I work with, like they're used to getting help. They have the trainers, they have the coaches, they've done the professional, public speaking. So in dating, you can do the same thing. You don't have to figure it out alone, right? And it's like when I work with men, it's like, how do we make this feel really good? And here's
Mm,
and what let's not just like get photos. Let's get photos that you're proud of. Let's get photos that really represent you. And I want you to look at your dating profile and be like, damn, yes, yes, right? That is me because it's not even the photos. Like I've had clients when their confidence is low, when they don't know what they're doing, when they're carrying some shame around, like maybe some
mm,
like bad behaviors, patterns that they still haven't worked through. The best photos and perfect bio it's not gonna work. Like your
mm,
energy is always introducing you before you even speak behind the screen. And it's crazy, like when I work with clients and we've worked through like compulsive porn use, for example, and
no.
we break those patterns, suddenly it is crazy. Those same pictures and that same bio, suddenly women are drawn to. It's really about feeling good about the way you're showing up and like knowing that you're really putting your best foot forward in a way that feels right for you. So yeah, so I would definitely recommend if it's something you've never done before, like work with someone, design a strategy for yourself. Like this is what we're gonna do. So how to actually get out and go meet someone.
Yeah. Like what's the yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah. What
Yeah.
give us a couple of strategies that they would do.
So I want to come back to this idea that we really want to stop separating dating and love. Like it's this. So here you're in your day. You're here. You're having your day. Here you're moving through your life, and now it's like, okay, now I'm going to go do the dating thing over here. No, it's like
Mm,
here's my life. It's like how do I bring dating into it? How do I bring connection into it? What are you already doing? Like let's start there. What are you already
mm,
doing or what do you already enjoy that yes, it will require some effort, but what are you already doing? What do you already enjoy that if we stack on dating to it will increase your chances of meeting someone? Okay, so if you're already somebody who works out a lot, you spend a lot of time at the gym, maybe start doing group classes. Okay, maybe start
yeah.
like join a run club, right? Like go to maybe do yoga where there's going to be a lot of yoga in the class. I know the guys listening to this, they
Yeah.
need to work on their mobility. I know it. That's the part that they're
100%.
ignoring maybe. um
100%.
right, so bring new elements, add new elements into your life of areas that you already like or go back to basics, like where if you join a book club, you want to be reading. I know you have that list. You're like, hey, I got to get back into reading. Join a book club, join a mastermind group, right? Spend more time outside. If you're working from home, go sit in a coffee shop, armor down, right? Look
Mm,
around, start making more conversations with people again. Like think about the last time that you're actually like looking up from your phone and looking at the world. When is the last time you saw a woman and just dropped a friendly compliment? Right?
I
Like, oh,
haven't,
really
but
cute dog. Like, start talking again, start connecting again. Okay. So just as the first few steps is like become open, start opening yourself up more.
can I
I had, yeah, go.
you said something very powerful there. Like all of these things that you're talking about, I would never have thought of that because for our generation, we always think about the only place you're going to pick up women is at a bar or a club. But you're
Yeah.
just talking about all of these different places. Like every single place is like, oh, 100% yoga. Oh, yeah, 100% go out just to the coffee shop. Oh, yeah, book club. Oh, maybe, yeah, like mastermind. Like that totally makes sense in an easier way to continue to do things that you're doing but also now you're getting yourself out there and meeting different women and different people. Phenomenal. I love it. Sorry, yeah, again with this aha
And don't
moments.
Don't be shy to, like, start letting people know that you really wanna meet someone.
Right.
I think there's this stigma around, like, "Oh, like, I can't meet someone, like, I don't wanna let people know." Like, bring the right energy because the people in your life that know you, your colleagues, your barber, right? Like, just, like, start to plant those seeds and be like, "Hey, I would love to meet someone. If you have anyone in mind, like, I'm open." Right? And lead with that energy. It's not an embarrassing thing. Like lead with the like, hey, I'm gonna go on a blind date this year. Like made it a mission to go on a blind date this year. And if you ever think of someone, you come across someone, like, I'm your guy, right? And start to plant those seeds. And that does so much more for you than you realize. It's not about whether that person is going to set you up or not. It's really you coming into the world, telling the universe, like, I'm open to this. Like, I'm here and I'm ready and I'm open. Like, bring someone into my life. I think that's one of the most important things is when we really energetically align with what we're available for and ready for, right? And not
Okay.
hiding it and, like, speak it into existence.
Okay, so the one of the biggest fears right now, though, for men this age, of course, is the media and what people portray, not portray, but like, the separation of man and woman. They're trying to kind of separate us, because the Me Too movement really, did really damage that trust in men and women, that women have in men and men have in women. And so I know from my experience with my guys, that's a thought in the back of the mind, like, I don't know what to say to her. Can I say this? Can I say that? Right? They don't want to get in trouble, specifically at work. And there's a lot of that. You have to be very careful. Whereas before it was just you didn't have to be as careful, but now you have to be very careful. And if you haven't dated, if you haven't been out there, if you've been just kind of like siloed, it's very difficult to know what should I say. Although, yes, you need help. And then also you mentioned something about the self-development culture that doesn't really bring this in. It's all about you, self-development, 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 and nothing more about, how to find love. So first, how do we navigate that? Is there a way to
Mhm.
navigate that? Do we definitely need a coach to navigate
Yeah.
that?
I'm so glad you brought this up because it is so apparent and men are very, very scared. And it is a collective story that we have kind of like taken, like, you've adopted this story as your own, even
Mhm,
though you have never been a man who's been intentionally creepy, or you've never been that
mhm,
guy who's been unkind or disrespectful to women. And now you're walking around as this guy that's like, damn, you feel like you're him anyways, even though there's no evidence that you are this man. And, we went through the thing and we've gone through a lot of things over the last, like, from let's say 2020 until now has been a crazy period.
okay.
And I would like to say that we are now in rebuilding mode. We're in repair mode. Okay, so can we collectively start to release the old ideas and start to take steps in a new direction where how can you be an example of the kind of world that you want to create? That's kind of where we're at today. How
Mm,
can we lead by example? So one is, yeah, you have to be a little bit courageous and you have to be willing. You have to be so strong and grounded in who you are, and you have to be willing to make some moves today. Okay. And yes, and we can do them lightly. We can tread lightly, and
mm,
want you this is what I say to my clients all the time. Like, we are going to now start collecting new evidence of what your reality actually is.
mm.
So we were bombarded with these stories. We've adopted them as our own. We've like, okay, this is all the evidence out there, and now we're stuck. So it's time to collect new evidence. You kind of have to put your own detective hat on and be like, what can I do and try, right? And then you start to gather and you create your new case. Like, okay, this is actually possible. So I'm going to give you some very specific strategies, but I want to say, like, can we? Would you say, anyone listening?
Yeah.
I'm going to make the assumption here that we can both get on the same page that women in their 40s, 50s, 60s, like, they still want love and they would love for an organic love story to manifest in their lives. They want
I'm gonna
the I met Greg at a party, or I met Greg at, a yoga retreat, and he asked me out to dinner. And, lo and behold, we just moved in together 2 years later. Can we agree that we all want the story?
I I'm gonna say 100% that women in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s are more aligned with that story. Yes, I want Greg to say that I looked nice today. Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
Greg came up to me today and said I looked great. I 100% believe that because for the
Mm,
women that I interact with later on, they're over all of that stuff, right? They're over all of that stuff. That has nothing to do with them. It's what they want in their lives. And so and we all grew up in the same era, right? We're Gen X's, right? 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. So we went through the bar stuff. We know all that stuff. And we went through the
Yeah.
online dating for some people. So I have to agree 100% that I think most women in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, who want love, they're not going to be attached to, well, don't say that to me. I'm offended. It's more like, thank you for saying that. You know,
Yeah.
let's pursue this.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at anyway.
Good. Well, I'm really glad, and I think most people listening would agree, and I think that's what we really need to keep in mind right now is like the goal is the same. Okay, like so, trust that what you want and what she wants ultimately is the same. And now what we're repairing and changing is like, how do we get there? What are the steps to getting there? Okay, but the goal is the same. And if the goal is the same, what you have to realize is that you're on the same team. You are on the same team. So we have to start getting better at remembering that we're not fighting each other. Like we really aren't. We're really approaching dating today like it's you against me. Who's going to win this date? Who's going to like get their checklist met? Who's gonna have more red flags after tonight? That's what we're approaching dating. That's how we're approaching dating. Where what we want to be doing is coming in and being like, I don't want to look out for red flags. I'm actually here to connect with you, and I'm on your side. So it's really important today that I understand that men are so caught up and consumed with like themselves. And am I going to come across as creepy? And what are other people going to think? And what if I say the wrong thing? And it's all consuming. We have to start giving women more agency over their lives in terms of like a woman can handle you talking to her. Okay. Like, let me just put it this way. A
Yeah,
woman can handle you talking to her. A woman can handle a compliment. A woman can handle you hitting on her. Well, even if she's married, like she knows how to navigate the situation.
totally.
Okay, and can we give women more credit to be like, you don't have to be so scared. And I get it. It comes from a good place because I have a lot of clients and they're like, well, I don't want to make her uncomfortable. Let her take care of that part. Can you walk in trusting that your intentions are so pure? Like you're not trying to make someone uncomfortable. Like you're grounded, you're masculine, you're doing something nice, you're gonna flatter her, you're just gonna say hello, you're gonna throw out a compliment, you're gonna ask her how her day is going. Like it's okay. And if she's not willing or interested, like she can take care of herself for that. And the reality is the kind of woman that a growth-minded man wants to meet, like you want to meet a self-sufficient, independent, feminine, also growth-minded woman. So can you trust that the kind of women that you actually want to meet, she's got it.
Mhm.
She's got like, you don't think I can handle a man approaching me? Like, do you think I'm gonna, like, crumble to the ground and like, "Oh my god, no, it's fine." Right? And in fact, like, even as someone in a relationship, like, I would be flattered. I'm coming home and telling my guy right away, I'm like, "Guess what happened to me today? I still got it." Right? We have to remember that there's a really light, playful side to this whole thing. And you really have to choose like what world you want to live in. Another thing that's really important when it comes to you're at an event with a woman, you go to a mastermind, you're in a book club, like what are you actually supposed to do? Like what's the move here? And it's really important that you prioritize connection as a way of being, like connection and making people feel good about themselves. Like this needs to be part of your value system. Because if it's not, and this comes back to like when we're treating dating as this very separate thing over here, like I'm gonna go do the dating thing now, then it can feel very transactional. Right. Then it's like you're going out and you're trying to get a date and you're trying to like when you approach, it's like there's a means to an end. And nobody wants to feel like a means to an end. Like we know you walk clothing store and it's called like commission breath, or you walk into a car dealership and when the person is like in your face, like they want from you, what do? We retreat, right? Give me some space. Let me feel this thing out. So connecting with other humans, right? Even think of like that's why I'm giving you this example out of a dating context. It's really more about just like human psychology. Like how do people like to connect? So what you can do is like exactly it's not about getting the number. It's not about getting anything out of it. If things naturally go there, great. But it's more about like I'm just here to connect. I'm here to make your day a little bit better. I'm here to spread some good vibes. Right? And one way that's very strategic, a way of doing this is like as you move through the world, like yes, like I had a man compliment me one day. I was like standing and I was waiting for an Uber. I don't know if I shared this story with you last time, but I was
No.
waiting for an Uber and this man was just like, he just walking by. He goes, I like your hat. And he keeps walking, right? So he doesn't come like right up to me and he's like, hi, I like your hat. What's your name? Like, it wasn't like that, right? He's just like that. That's just spreading good vibes.
Mhm.
And walking, and then I turned around and I was like, "Oh," I'm like, "Thank you so much." Right? My butt now I turned my body. Like, I'm just a very friendly person. So I
Yeah.
turned. I'm like, "Thank you." I'm smiling. And then what did he do? He actually turns around and comes back. Right? And he's like, "Oh, it was in Austin." He's like, "Oh, I see you're here for South by Southwest. Like, what conferences has you gone to?" And he picked up a conversation. So that's kind of it, right? It's like a dance, which is like it can't just be your agenda. It can't just be like me, me, me. I think she's beautiful. I want to talk to her. I want her phone number. I want the date. No, it's like I'm spreading good vibes. And then actually what he did that was so great was that he gauged my response.
Mm,
Right.
right.
And then when I responded friendly and kind and I'm turning to him, right? Because I could have just like stayed focused and been like, right, then that's not an invitation. So a lot of men, they move through this, they're moving with their own agenda and they're not really connecting. You're not really being intuitive about this connection happening. Is she also interested in having a conversation with you?
Right.
So that's a really great place to start if you are caught in this web of me too and I don't want to come across as creepy. It's like step 1, let's start to give women more credit for their
Mhm.
ability to engage or not engage
Yeah.
and be okay with respecting that. And then step 2 is let's look at this as a real connection and a dance versus like this is all happening on my terms. And then once you start to see women responding better to you, and even if she smiles, you don't have to do anything about it. You could still walk by, but now we're collecting evidence of a new story, right? And clock that evidence. Like spoke to 3 women today, all smiled back at me.
Perfect.
That's what I going to sleep at night thinking about because that's what's going to energize you to do it again.
Yeah, I like that with not going in with your own agenda because even if the woman doesn't turn around, or even if she didn't turn around, maybe just smiled and didn't turn around, you still, me or that guy still got something out of it because he generally liked your hat, right? Or you know what I mean? So he complimented you. You
Yeah.
got that compliment and he wasn't looking for anything back because you did turn around. That was that, oh, okay, there's a conversation here. So I love it. It's a positive win-win for the guy, whether the turnaround happens or doesn't. What is intimacy erosion, and why should this age group pay attention to it?
Intimacy erosion is when you've gone so long without this feeling of connection with a woman that you're actually unable, like you get to a point where you're actually unable to form a connection. Like you don't know how anymore. It feels foreign to you. And that's a really challenging place to be because it's like you've put dating on a back burner. You've done all the things. You're like, I'm just working on myself. I'm working on myself. I'm working on myself. As soon as I'm done working on myself, I'm going to go and get back into dating. But then when you go get back into dating, you actually cannot now form a connection with women. You are uncomfortable around women. Like you have eroded the very natural dynamic of masculine and feminine energy. And women cannot connect with a man, even on a friendship level,
Mm,
with someone who feels very uncomfortable around them. So it is so important that you, on some level, keep your dating life. I call it the dating dial, that on some level, that you're always keeping the dating dial turned up. We're never turning the stove off. The stove is not going completely cold. We're always keeping it on like warm. And warm can look like reading a book about dating, communication, masculine and feminine energy. Keeping it warm can just be going to events and talking to women, even if you're not actively looking for a relationship, like just keeping the wheels in motion so that by the time you are ready to pursue a relationship, it doesn't feel completely foreign to you.
that makes sense. That makes sense. And you can also watch Love on the Spectrum too. That's one of my
You
favorite shows.
can.
Okay, and this is this the same for a divorced man or a widower or widowed man who is just now getting back in? Same thing, right? Same kind of strategies work for them too as well.
It's the same strategies definitely work. When it comes to men that are divorced or widowed, like I lost my partner in a car accident
Right.
after
No.
being with him for 10 years. So I say that because I really want people hearing this who have been through something similar to understand or to know that I understand how challenging it can be open to love again. I want to say something really important here is that society is pushing this agenda on us of like, be alone, be alone, be alone. Heal all of your trauma first. Like, do not enter into a relationship with any baggage. That's not fair. You just got out of a relationship. Do not enter another relationship. Travel by yourself. It's as if you're on this road and it's just like construction, pothole, and you're just like, I literally can't reach the other side. It's such bad advice. And I'm really speaking to a growth minded individual here. I'm not speaking to somebody who is caught in toxic dating patterns of like seeking external validation and hasn't done the inner work and hasn't done therapy, isn't going to the gym. Life is in shambles. Like, I'm not talking, that's not the person I'm talking to. I know that's not your audience. But I am talking to the man who has done the work. He's feeling good about his life and he does want to meet someone. He feels ready, but he's being told, no, no, no. Are you sure you're fully healed?
Mm.
Healing happens in relationship. Trying to heal perfectly alone, you're going to miss out on so much because by the time you get into a relationship, you're gonna start the process from scratch. Like somebody in your life, being in a relationship with someone, starting to date, it's the gift of having a mirror being held right up to you of like, here's where the work still needs to be done. And by the way, the work is never done.
No, I was
So
gonna say.
here's where the work needs to be done. And then two emotionally evolved, mature individuals who understand life and understand themselves know that now they build a life together and they heal individually and they heal each other by being together. I got into a relationship within 1 year after my partner passed away and I was embarrassed about it for a long time. I felt guilty. I thought people would look at me and say like, did she ever really even love him? How could she date someone so soon? Like these were my own stories and it took me
Mm.
a long time. Like I used to lie and I would say like, yeah, yeah, we started dating like 2, 3 years later. It was 1 year later and it is this relationship that I'm still in today that
Mm.
accelerated my healing. And kind of what I was saying to you before about like, it was seeing myself as not broken. It was like, I saw myself as broken. I saw myself as this person who was like, well, you lost your partner. Like, how can you find love again? Now everything is shattered. Now everything is ruined. But it's like again, like seeing how not broken I was through his eyes, I repaired, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm not broken." Like, he held me in this beautiful elevated light, and that was everything I needed to heal. I won't even say it's not about speed, it's about the quality of healing I experienced.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I think yeah, I agree with you. I think whenever you're ready, I don't even think you have to be high performance, but your life should definitely not be in shambles. But I think finding that person can also help you heal or self develop in a way. What is the nice guy syndrome? Nice
Nice guy
guy.
syndrome Yeah, nice guy syndrome is somebody who typically has low self-worth. It may be on a subconscious or even at times unconscious level. Like you don't actually know that you have these deeper insecurities. It's a lot about not feeling enough, not feeling deserving of the kind of love that you actually do deserve, right? Which is like healthy, abundant love, somebody loving you unconditionally, somebody caring for you, somebody who wants to show up for you. Often you don't believe that you actually deserve that. So you operate in ways that where you're constantly overcompensating to get the love and attention that you want. So
Mm.
you will sacrifice your own needs. You will be super agreeable. You won't speak up. You won't voice yourself. You'll keep your opinions quiet. Sure, let's go to the ballet. Sure, yeah, sure, I'll pick you up. Sure, I'll drive across town. Oh, you want me to run and get this for you? Sure, I'll get it. I'll do it. And like, you don't actually want to be doing those things or they don't feel right, but you keep doing them because if you feel like if you do, you'll get the love that you want. And if you don't, the person will leave you. And nothing is worse than the person leaving or that
Right.
attention going away because it took so hard to even come across to begin with. And now we hold on so anxiously. So it's really this inability to be grounded and strong in who you are and show up in your most authentic self.
The problem.
The problem with nice guy syndrome is that what you don't realize is you're doing everything perfectly on paper. Like, okay, but I'm agreeing with her. I'm taking her where she wants to go. I bought her the gifts. A woman is actually kind of quite repelled by that behavior. And it's often not even something that she can pinpoint because it's quite manipulative behavior. You're acting inauthentically to get something in return. And again, it's like what we were saying earlier. It's like that's an agenda. And somebody on the receiving end of that, we have our guard up. We may not know why, but it's like, he's doing all these nice things for me, but I'm not feeling it. My intuition's like something's wrong here. I don't even deserve to be put on a pedestal. Like, why is this person showering me in attention and putting me on a pedestal when we've just met? So it comes across as you're trying to connect with someone, but it's a major disconnect.
How do we stop being the nice guy? I guess to like, you know what I mean? Like what you said is very manipulative, and that 100% is 100%.
Yeah.
Um, how do we? What's the opposite of that? What do we do instead of if we find
Mhm.
ourselves?
It's really starting to get curious about yourself, about your patterns, about why you keep winding up in the same situations, right? So if you date 3 women or you try and date 3 women and you're like, okay, one was a single mom, one was, widowed, and one had never been married, all different ages. And then you start to say like, okay, how am I ending up in this exact same situation? Like how come these 3 different women, 5 different women have all said the same thing to me, like, "You're a great guy, but I'm just not feeling like this can move forward." So it's really in that moment of being like, "Okay, I'm ready to look inwards. I'm ready to shed a light on my patterns and my behaviors, like, what's not working here?" Obviously, again, working with someone who can help point out your blind spots is one of the fastest ways, but sure, like, you can read books. There's a book called, No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert Glover. I think it's Robert Glover. Right, so you can start to, like, become aware of the behaviors, which is the first step is awareness. But the
Mm,
most important step, a lot of people, they start to become aware of their blockages. They become aware of their patterns and behaviors, but then they just like name it, but they don't change it. It
mm,
becomes more of like an excuse of like, oh, that's nice guy syndrome.
that's
But now
me.
it's like, you can't really like you can't think your way into a new identity. You have to behave differently. You have to move differently into a new behavior, right? You can't think your
Yeah,
way skinny, right? That would be great. Um,
yeah,
fit,
yeah,
right? Like, you actually have to like change what you're eating. You have to change the way you're sleeping. Like you have to do all these things. And this is the same. Like if you really want to step into your most authentic self and start to shed these behaviors that are not serving you, it's like it's starting to do the thing that feels really uncomfortable. So the
yeah.
clients I work with having some accountability, what's amazing is like they'll text me and they'll be like, "This is what I'm talking to this girl, talking to this woman. This is one of those moments where like I'm feeling really uncomfortable saying no, but I don't really want to do this, or I feel like she's playing hot and cold with me." And then I'll be like, "Okay, this is like we move through it together." And I'm like, "This is what I want you to say to her right now." And they're like, "Oh my God, I can't say that." But they do, right?
Yeah.
And it and then it's like, again, now we are starting to collect evidence, right? Like, we're starting to collect evidence of like, wow, this person, she didn't leave me when I said it. In fact, she was like, "Sure, I love that you suggested something that you wanna do. I would love to go to the game with you.
Mhm.
We don't have to go to ballet." These 2 extreme examples,
Yeah.
right? And
Love it.
then you're like, "Oh, this actually improved my relationship, voicing my needs." So it's taking these like it's making these small changes and starting to see that they're actually working for you. And then, of course it's like, where did these stem from? Where did it come from? And as a coach, I don't like therapy is for that. Therapy is for like sit and going deep and like figuring out, okay, this began in my childhood and it's when, first time this happened. Like as a coach, we go there and we identify where it stemmed from, but then we really like pull that information into where are you headed? What are your goals today? And we don't get stuck in the story. We are focused on changing the story so that we are always taking aligned steps for the man that you want to become and stepping into the version that you are yearning to be. And let me just remind everyone here is like that version that you want to be is your authentic self. It's the years of fear of rejection or the endless working on yourself that you've like actually created a new identity that's not really you. So stepping from nice guy syndrome into like what I like to call like your kind king energy or your kind king era is about shedding old behaviors and actually becoming more of you.
And that is, I was going to ask you about the climb king energy. So that's what that is, just shedding the old, and it's the new identity piece that you want to move into as we age in our relationships. You can hear my voice shatter.
No,
So
all
yeah,
good. Yeah. Kind king energy, I coined it this way is because a lot of people will get confused with like, well, if I'm not a nice guy, does that mean I'm like an asshole? And it's like, that's not it. Like, you can still be kind. Like, you can still take her to the ballet. Like, you can still be generous with your time and energy, but it's from a grounded, authentic place. It's not because you're compromising your needs, it's because you actually want to do it. You're not trying to get something in return. There
Right.
isn't an underlying transaction happening. It's really, really just like knowing who you are, and taking her to the ballet makes you feel good. You're not doing it because you're scared to lose her. Like, imagine taking someone out and in one, like, on, scenario A is, okay, well, I'm taking her out, and that means she's gonna call me tomorrow, and that means maybe she's gonna be my girlfriend, um, and I'm gonna kinda, like, trick her into liking me even though I hate the ballet. And the other guy is like, "'Kay, I'm taking you to the ballet, but next week I'm taking you to the game." And it's like, and actually saying like, "'Kay, today is your night, next time is my night." And who
Right.
knows, maybe I'm gonna have fun at the ballet, like, I actually wanna connect with you and, like, I wanna get into your world a little bit. Right, like, that's just two of the same scenarios, but, like, two completely different approaches, and the woman that you're with, like, she can feel that, she can connect with the kind king. So it's not about not being a good guy, but it's who you're showing up as makes all the difference.
That's awesome. All right, as we wrap up here, this has been incredible. I've even learned a lot specifically. I'm not getting into the dating world, but I definitely learned a lot where we're at right now. What would you say to a man watching right now who hasn't been on a date in years?
Oh my gosh.
The one thing.
If you have not been on a date in years, I want you to do something a little bit bigger than one thing. I want you to participate on your own in my Just Say Hey challenge. And that means for the next 1 week, I just want you to start saying hello, making eye contact with women, and throwing out these small compliments. And it doesn't have to be with women that you're attracted to. It can be at the grocery store, it could be when you're checking into the gym, right? You're putting your pass through. Usually, maybe you're just like looking straight ahead, but any woman, I just want you to start, like, engaging more, smiling more, saying hello more, and that's it. Just for the next 7 days, and see how you feel at the end of each day, and see how you feel after that 7 days.
I love it. Okay, this has been incredible. Like I said, Kavita, thank you so much. Where can people find you? What's your handling? You are giving something away for free. Is that correct?
Absolutely am, and this is the first step into stepping into your kind king era. I talk a lot about nice guy syndrome in this masterclass as well. So it's my masterclass called Strong, Calm, and Masculine, and happy to offer it here to
Yep.
your listeners, to your viewers, everybody that is coming to the summit for free, absolutely free. It's a 10-part series of some of my best teachings are going to be there, and it's really going to help anybody who is starting to think like, okay, I want dating to be part of my life. I really want to meet my forever person. How do I start stepping into my authentic energy to make this happen? So I will be giving that away. And then outside of that, you can find me on Instagram at Dashing Date. And anybody can actually send me a message. So they just send me the word funk, your name. I'll know that they came from listening to this. And I would be happy to start a conversation, learn a little bit more about your situation, and see if there's any way I can help.
Amazing. Thank you so much. We'll have that link below to your free masterclass. And again, I appreciate you being part of this. Amazing, guys. Get on it, get out there and get outside your comfort zone and start saying hey this week
Yes.
to as many women as possible. Take care.